You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Ian, look at this.
What, it's a police box. What on earth's he doing here? I mean, these things are usually on the street. I feel it. I feel it. You feel it?
Faint vibration.
It's alive.
Earth Station Who, a fun mashup exploring over 60 years of the Doctor Who universe. Hold on tight. You never know where the crew of the TARDIS is going next.
Hey there, Whovians, and welcome back to another episode of the Earth Station Who podcast. It's a great one tonight. We are going back to the Second Doctor era, and we are looking at the Krotons. I was so ready to say Krotons. I really, really was, but I didn't. You know, that's a plus right there for us folks. But we are back. We are Smiles. We got Dr. Jamie and Zoe story. It was fun. And it will be a lot of interesting stuff because, you know, it's the Second Doctor, you know, and Patrick is just so much fun to watch. And we have the whole crew together tonight, folks. This is a long time coming. It's been over a month since we've actually been in, you know, the studio with Mr. Mike Gordon. Welcome back, sir.
Howdy. Good
the
to be back.
World Traveler, Dragon Con, and Monsterama. Jeez, dude.
It was a crazy month. But
it is good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. And I know you guys covered a lot of good stories. I did watch Green Death, and I watched your review of it. Very strange. No Chibnall bashing at all in the last episode. So you guys need me. So I had to come back.
We've been saying that for a long time, Mike. You know,
to right that wrong.
The last two episodes have been, you know, kind of like, it's been nice, but it felt we missed a little Howdy in our lives.
Well,
so,
I appreciate that. And look, I mean, I wasn't here last week, of course, as I mentioned. So let me also officially welcome Mel to the team. It's great to have your energy and your insight to the show. I appreciate you joining us. It's just a coincidence that I haven't been here, and that she is now that she's officially a host, I am back. That's a coincidence. I mean, some people might be wondering, how does someone who was banned from the show a couple months later become a co-host?
Lots of money. Lots of money.
It has, I'm sure, nothing to do with the fact that I got this wonderful comic exclusive in the mail. This exclusive San Diego edition in the mail. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Bribery will get you everywhere.
So when I was asking about if it was okay for Mel to become a new co-host, you know, Gordon was like, "Yes, she got me San Diego swag, so yes, of course."
I need her to be around.
Exactly.
Long-time listeners, they know the score. I don't need to spell it out, so they know what's going on. So, and Doctor Who fans are pretty sharp. They can make connections, even when there's none.
Especially when there's none.
We're really good at that, folks. We are super good with that one. So, but it's awesome to have Mel here. It really is, and it's like, you know, it completes the circle, as we like to say. Because I loved having Mike and Mary, but you know, it's nice to actually see four smiling faces. You know, we only almost need a fifth one to go in the center, like Alice from the Brady Bunch. You know.
Now I allow for people to hit the mute button more to have a drink and stuff like that. So I give that extra break time for everyone.
Exactly. Well, we'll have to see what Mel's isms are so we can have a new drinking game on the show or something.
Yes.
Oh, exactly. So, but, you know, it's great having Mike here, of course, but it's also great to have Mary. You know, it's awesome.
Hi, everybody. Fantastic to be here.
And, of course, Melanie Dean. Second episode as an official co-host.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my San Diego swag, you know.
Well, you see, you have to place an order with me.
Important one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they all say. You know, mind reading, it does help. The doctor's psychic, you know.
Okay.
So it'll be a ton of fun to do. And you know what? It's great having everybody here. And we definitely would love to hear from you guys at home. Please write us feedback at earthstationwho.com. Best way to get in touch with us. And while you're, writing us and, leaving us feedback, why not give us a thumbs up and a like, or, a subscribe would be even better. It's always great to do that. And, it shows a little bit of love from us. It's a really cool thing. And you know what? It's about that big. It's really, really that big. So, but, as we like to say, we're talking about Krotons tonight, so it should be a ton of fun. There's no real Doctor Who news, so we might as well just go right into the episode. And, it's going to be a lot of stuff. There's a ton of rumors going around. There is a rumor that is pretty substantial, though. I'll throw in right before we get into the review that Russell T has come out and said that you have not seen the whole cast for the War Between the Land and the Sea. And so he said, you don't even know the full storyline yet. So be prepared for some surprises, because
he's so trustworthy.
Oh yeah, Russell T is just like
never
that.
Nah,
Never, ever.
Yeah, that's gold right there. So.
Exactly. Him I could trust more than I trust Chibnall, so it's okay.
And there we are.
Exactly. I had to.
Look at that. It's good to be seen now. Now it feels like Earth Station Who.
Exactly.
Now it feels like Earth Station Who.
Exactly. It was time for a Chibnall bash. So I figure, I trust more of a spinoff from RTD though than I would have from anything that Chibnall would have done during that era.
We couldn't even trust the main show to Chibnall, let alone a spinoff.
Touche. No, agree completely. But, I'm still hoping that we're going to eventually get another spinoff, and I want to see a Paternoster Gang spinoff.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, I would
love to see that.
And that would be a great way to tie in so many different characters and stories and such. So, and they could all take place in London in the Victorian era. I think that would be really cool. So,
well, that's why we have Big Finish.
Yes, that's true. And we do have some Paternoster Gang coming very, very soon, folks. So it should be very cool. All right. Episode Krotons. And we are going back to the wonderful year of 1968 from December 28th, 1968. Oh, my second birthday, January 18th, 1969. And you could remember that date, folks. Gifts are welcome. Thank you. So, you know what? It's awesome because this is some of the best era of Doctor Who because we just are coming off the invasion. We had some really awesome stories going on because we got introduced officially to UNIT. We officially got, they're heading straight on into War Games. I think it's only like 2 or 3 episodes, storylines down. So this is, the second Doctor's crew at some of the best. Was the story the best? This storyline could have easily been 2 episodes and everything.
Would have been better at 2 episodes.
Yes. Well, I know the Krotons were originally created as a possible replacement for the Daleks.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
Yeah, that's the sometimes painful thing of watching early Doctor Who is that with the success of the huge success of the Daleks, you see a lot and try it again and again and again and again. And it's just, they can't, look,
the magic isn't there.
We've taken some shots at Terry Nation before, but something in that stew that he created, just works. Whereas a lot of these others do not. And unfortunately the Krotons and, Mike, you're perfectly forgiven for saying Krotons occasionally because the cast members couldn't even get it right. Like from character to character, some would say Krotons. Even the same character. 1 minute he would say Krotons, the next minute he would say Croutons. So
yeah,
I think we all had salad on our mind, really.
Exactly.
So,
and it's kind of ironic. That's what I had for dinner tonight. So it was perfect.
But I think this is one of my favorite eras too. Since I discovered early Doctor Who through this show, which I appreciate so much, I really, really enjoy anytime we do the Second Doctor, have an episode with the Second Doctor, as well as Jamie and Zoe. I really like this team, and then you add that to the fact that Terrence Dix is a script editor, and this is the first of many great stories that we get. Well, we'll use great in quotes, but stories that we get from Robert Holmes, who I think is one of the premier writers and contributors to Doctor Who. So to the whole franchise. So to see his name on this one, and this is his first entry here. So whether you can forget his first entry or forgive his first entry or not, I don't know. But there's definitely some elements here, even from this story, and we'll get into it, that makes this like a pretty cool story, above average, I think.
Okay.
In a lot of ways.
Well, let's go around and get initial thoughts for this. Mel, what's your initial thought?
I have to agree. I didn't think this could be 4 episodes. 4 episodes was a little long. I think it could be tightened down to almost like easily 3, because there were parts that I liked. I thought it started great, it ended great, but somewhere in the middle, like at least like the between second episode and the third, I was kind of like, where are we going with this? It's kind of, we're running around in a circle, but
literally you're running around in a circle because they're going from the learning center into the Croton ship,
and then we're
out of
through
the
it.
Croton ship into the wasteland, back into the village, back to the learning center, back into the Croton ship, and it's just like
it's almost like we know when you open the door, you need to dive out of the way, because then the little you're going to get missed. The little spritzy things are going to hit you, and it's like
exactly.
You've exited how many times now? What?
But
that aside. It was. I really did enjoy it, and I thought again, seeing like our little trifecta of the Doctor, Zoe and Jamie, just really good. And I like the fact that they balance each other well. They play off each other very well. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Just tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Ms. Mary.
I loved the first 2 episodes. I was having a ball. It was really enjoyable. And then the third one, man, did it start dragging. And I was like, oh man, I think this episode's about 3 hours. And and yes, it did pick up a little bit near like halfway through the last episode. It started picking up again near the end. But oh my God, it dragged near the end. But I actually really enjoyed the beginning, and I enjoyed the Doctor, Jamie, and Zoe the whole way through, even when they were just running around. They're such a great team. They're just such a nice TARDIS team.
Oh, they're wonderful together. They really
are. It's so enjoyable to watch them interact. And it's so much fun.
I love Zoe's ego because, she's like, and sometimes the Doctor is even as smart as I am.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, she had no trouble figuring things out at all.
No, exactly. And I loved how
Jamie was just Jamie.
Oh, but it was awesome because, even Zoe got the highest score ever on the testing.
Yes.
And
the Doctor didn't in the beginning, and then he leveled up.
He was like, I didn't know the rules. It's like a parent trying to say, "What? They're teaching you new math? This is the way I did it."
Look, the Doctor's one of those guys that just he doesn't take tests well because that does require you to follow the rules. And if there's one thing we know about the Doctor, he has to, if he wants to do that, like he makes it, he gets by, of course, and he still has a rocking score. But he's not. I would have been disappointed if he had just aced it, because that's not his style.
No, I agree with that, and I also think it was great because you had, Zoe one-upping the Doctor, and I didn't want the Doctor then go, well, here, I've got it. And, that would have been Tom's doctor or something,
Yeah.
That's what's really wonderful about this era is because Zoe is so smart. I mean, granted, she's not, uber, like she's not an uber character that nothing can phase her or anything like that, but she's so smart and they're not afraid to give her that characteristic. Like so she does, like you said, in other eras, it would be unheard of to have a companion or let alone any other character like beat the Doctor in something like this, but they're really confident and this is 1968. So, I mean, it's really incredible how much agency they give her.
Yeah, it goes downhill
they
from
take
there.
They take steps back. The franchise takes steps back after Zoe. Confusing her with Wendy Padbury, who played her, of course. I mean, I think we get, right after Zoe, we get like Joe is the next one. Not Joe. Liz is the next one, right? But she's the next companion to the third Doctor. She's she's the first companion to the third Doctor. She's very smart too, but that doesn't work as well. And then
they get rid of her. Yeah.
They get rid of her after
quickly.
one season. Yeah,
because it was like it didn't work. So then they replaced her with the exact opposite, which I think for a lot of us was really frustrating. And no offense to Katie, who you guys, like I said, I watched a review of The Green Death, and I totally agree that it was probably one of Joe's finest stories in the franchise.
Oh yeah.
But even then, she does really dumb things.
It's an enjoyable story.
And Jamie did not do stupid things in this episode. Come on.
No, he does.
Yes.
But he and that's what it's a great swap to have that sort of be the case. And Frasier totally owns it and works with it. I just love the dynamic here. They each bring something different to the table, and it works really, really well.
Okay. No, I agree with that completely. I think, the chemistry between the three of them is wonderful. And, it's the typical, the Doctor showing up and just immensing himself in the society that they meet. And it's interesting, how, they're the outsiders, destroy them, they're from the wasteland, and then all of a sudden, they're your best friends, but the Doctor does that all the time, especially during this era. And, it's just, you don't see it as much in modern Who as you did then.
Yeah.
So
I do like the consistency of Doctors forgetting where companions are for a time and going, where's Jamie?
Yeah.
Oh,
wait, what?
Oh, wait,
About an hour ago after
that's
we
right.
went in. What?
Were you gone?
what? Jamie followed us in? Oh, bother. Oh my God. What? How dare he? Oh no, Jamie. So
Back to the wasteland.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But, I liked, like Mary said, I enjoyed the first two episodes. Typical classic series Doctor Who. But then the third dragged. And, when Jamie went in after the Doctor and Zoe, it was just like, and he realizes that they had escaped already. And I loved Frasier, fighting with the Kroton, and he grabbed the gun and the disintegrator ray, and it was having no effect on it, and the Kroton kept on going closer and closer, and the Kroton just like smushed him against the door. It was just like, So it's just like, and because I'd like, destroy that one, it has no intelligence. It's like, oh, poor Jamie.
Yeah, he was getting ragged on a lot.
Adding insult to injury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, he's like, he still made it work and he still escaped. And I love that too. I mean, he has a different set of skills, which he is able to use and utilize. And I appreciate that as well. Like I said, all three of them have skills that they don't feel like if they're on their own, they're completely useless. They're not just there to prop up the Doctor. In fact, the Doctor does a really good job throughout a lot of these stories of propping them up as well. So it's really strong. And I agree with you guys about the tonal change, or not tonal change, but the shift in the story. I'm not as harsh as you guys about it, because one thing that I did appreciate was, because I thought all the Kroton characters were pretty boring. So in the first 2 episodes, I was like, these guys are really, really boring. And then we get Elec, played by Philip Maddock, who, great history with Doctor Who. He plays some really great characters in other stories. And I was like, ooh, now we got a bad guy. I'm like, okay, now we got a bad Kroton. Now we've got Kroton and Kroton violence happening. And the Krotons versus the Krotons.
Actually, no, that race was called the Gond.
Oh, the Gonds. You're right. You're right. Absolutely.
The Krotons.
Right.
The Krotons.
We have Gond on Gond violence.
Exactly. The Krotons were the salt and pepper shakers, basically.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely. So,
or Judy watches says the bad guys are coffee perculators. But younger audience will not understand what a coffee percolator is.
They'll have no idea.
I did like things. Yeah, I did like the design in the sense that I liked the fact their heads could swivel around.
Yes.
That's about the only thing I liked. But I did like that. But anyway, what I was saying is that, to me, the Elec character in the second 2 episodes really pulled me along. Like, I wasn't able to be pulled along by anybody on for the rest of the rest of the crew. I think I got more engaged in the second 2 episodes, because I suddenly there was this Gone society being divided thing going on, which I think Robert Holmes would just get really, really much better at. And I think this would have been much better had that division been a little bit more apparent, at least in the first and second episode. And so that would have carried through. I think it would have really helped this story along. But yeah, and Philip Maddock just is awesome. So, and he plays a great bad guy. So it's really easy to hate him. He has shortcuts there.
Yeah, I agree that Elec does help, and I will say that for Robert Holmes, you can tell this is a first story.
Yeah,
but the seeds of Robert Holmes are there. It's kind of it's a very sort of standard Doctor Who plot. The race being oppressed by the other race trying to turn them into slaves or whatever, or actually turning them into slaves and them trying to break free of that. But his characterization is still good. I mean, he writes the Doctor and Jamie and Zoe really well, and he starts giving personality to the quote unquote bad guy. But I'm not sure he quite gets there. It's still, the 3rd episode still really dragged. It did start picking up in the 4th.
Yeah,
episode.
To me, it's like I didn't find the leader or the couple, the woman that was sacrificed.
There's no chemistry there at all.
The leader's son.
The son.
I didn't find them interesting. So in the 3rd episode, when we get introduced to Elec and the professor, or the scientist guy or whatever, I was like, oh, thank you for introducing people that I care about.
Yeah.
So that's what that's what pulled me through the last 2 episodes, because I did find it kind of basic in the first 2. So. But yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of the themes that Holmes would work with are here, taking this oppressed society, but the fact that they're arguing amongst themselves, they've got a common enemy already, and yet they're arguing amongst themselves, and this sort of shift for power, it's just really fun, and it's something that you don't see, I don't think, as much or as detailed in earlier stories of Doctor Who. It's not till Robert comes along and does this out. And I got to give credit to Terrence Dicks, too, because apparently this was a idea from Robert that he pitched, but it was really Terrence Dicks that helped flesh it out. And I think that combination of Terrence and Robert together really is the winning combination that will bring us some really classic stories later.
No, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
No, and definitely you could see the foundations of all the different things, especially when you get further into the third Doctor and then, of course, into the fourth Doctor era, big time. This easily could have been a fourth Doctor and like Leela episode. I could see. And, the Doctor wouldn't be as bumbling, but he would just have been Tom, like telling everyone what to do. Let me tell you now.
There's also
I will send K9 after them. No.
There's also Robert. I don't think Robert Holmes gets enough credit for his sense of humor, especially like this sort of like pre-Douglas Adams-esque humor, because the Krotons aren't oppressing the Gonds because they want to take over the world. They're not oppressing them because they want to rule this planet. They're oppressing them. All they want is to find one smart enough so they can get off the planet. Like that's all they want. And it's so silly and ridiculous. And yet it involves it actually like changes and ruins and has catastrophic effects on this whole society of people. But all they did is they crashed and they're like, we need somebody smart enough that we can use their energy to get out of here. We're not finding one. We're testing them. We're going through them like tissue paper. And then finally they find, Zoe and the Doctor, and they're like, woo, thank God we can get out of here. And they're just going to bolt. I mean, they don't care. And I think that's ridiculous and silly in a Douglas Adams way. And it's just delightful, I think.
No, agreed.
I like how they were trying to keep them just smart enough, because it like the scientist,
right?
Like he was like, oh yeah, we're not allowed to learn. I'm not allowed to learn acids, or I'm not allowed to learn this. I'm like, oh, okay, so they want you smart enough to get us off this planet, but not enough to realize, oh, you're bad for us. We should destroy you. Well, we don't want to give them those tools. Like, no.
Exactly. And that's the interesting thing, because they were basically cherry picking what they knew and everything. But they were trying to go for seeing who was the most intelligent of them. So that way they could give them the award of coming into the Croton ship and then,
using them up and murdering them.
Exactly. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how their society was based like father to son, or that kind of hierarchy kind of thing. Because I remember by the fourth, as we're going along, I'm like, okay, Celeris is maybe a good guy, maybe a bad guy, not quite sure. Same thing with Thara. And then Ela comes around. I'm like, oh, okay, so you're the bad guy. But then by the fourth episode, I'm going, wait, are you the good guy? Because then at one point, that's when Celeris like, oh, this is going to be passed on to my son. And I'm going, no, wait, I'm switching. I'm going back to Team Elec now. Because he's actually trying to help everybody. And then that's when they kind of did that. I think it was like Vanna or Thara says, oh, no, he's only in it for himself. I'm going, no, I think he was trying to help everybody. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's what the Doctor and them say, but because at the end they're just like, peace out. They're just they're like, okay,
we don't want to deal with this.
Can you help us try to figure out what our next move should be? And all three of them are like, nope, we're gone.
Nope. This is the part we never stick around for.
No. I do not blame them whatsoever.
No, at all.
One of the tropes of Doctor Who is, okay, we took care of the bad guys. Your society is in ruins. We're out of here. See ya.
You're on your own now.
You're on your own.
Now I know how to make sulfuric acid. Have fun with that. Gotta go.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with these vats of sulfuric acid? I don't know. That's your problem. Peace out.
Not my problem. Oh, we're not even going to teach you electricity or solar power or anything like that.
Nope. You're on your own.
Yeah. Now you basically, here's a rock and a chisel. Have fun.
Did anybody bring these back? Like Big Finish or anybody? Like, are they Krotons a one and done?
Oh.
When I was looking on
our buddies Wikipedia.
Yeah, I was looking on our buddies in Wikipedia, because usually they have a little thing that says like later on, but there's nothing. So I don't know if that means that there's nothing, or somebody just didn't put the entry in. But yeah, I would imagine that there's still maybe some stories you could tell with them, because it is kind of maybe interesting, but you could do some interesting things if they had an update. But But maybe not. Maybe people were just like,
yeah. I mean, I think we're fine. No more Krotons.
No, I don't remember ever seeing it. I know they did come out with the action figures of the Krotons.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Gotcha.
When they were doing
the spinning head.
Yeah.
Okay. I would imagine as a kid, I would love that. I would love that. Like the rest of the toy, I'd probably like, but the spinning head thing,
well,
I would.
Yeah.
As an adult, I kind of liked it, so it's all right there. You know.
I mean, I remember the first time I saw a black hole and Maximilian like spun his head completely around. I was like,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Okay, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, of course, but you know, it was interesting. These characters had the bad guys had a lot of potential, but I just think because you didn't even see them till episode 3. Anyway, the first 2 episodes you didn't get to see what
you heard them, but you didn't
heard
see
them exactly, and it was just like I actually liked that long tentacle thing that came out of the wall.
Oh, the vacuum hose.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the vacuum hose.
that was pretty cool.
That was awesome. It's like, all right, I was fully expecting to see, a cable holding it up or something like that, but it was really well done.
Yeah, they actually did a good job with that.
There was a string, you could kind of tell, and they used reverse filming a couple
Of
times.
course they did.
So, but no, I mean it
for
was
the time. It looked pretty good. For
no,
the
I thought
time.
it did look good. I think it looked that looked better than the Krotons design itself. Yeah.
Yeah, because we can't, at this point, we can't compare Doctor Who special effects to Star Trek special effects, or Lost in Space or something.
No, they don't have that kind of budget.
No, exactly. So, I thought they did really, really well. And you know what? I thought it was cool. Instead of showing like with the Daleks when the ray beam hit the guys and you saw the skeleton and then they fell over dead. I liked how they did it. Very simple in this. They just shot a cloud of smoke at the people and then they were dust. I thought that was very, very well done.
That was
Pretty
pretty
effective.
effective.
Yeah. So I can't complain about that. I thought that was at least was interesting about it. And you know what? It was better than I was expecting it to be, but I just wish it was more like a consistent, like boom, 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 instead of boom, 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 boom.
Long rest.
Exactly. So it's like, well, at least Troughton didn't go on vacation for one of the episodes or something, So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it did great with the character of Jamie, and it showed Jamie was the muscle of the TARDIS. I loved how what they did with that, and Zoe was the brains, and then there was the Doctor, and you also got to see. I think this was one of the first times we saw that the TARDIS actually moved itself when it sensed it was going to be in danger.
That was interesting, and I think we just saw that recently play out, right?
Yeah.
Like in one of the specials last year,
Mhm.
right?
One of the-
Like,
Yes.
so
In Wild Blue Yonder, it did.
Yep.
What an amazing callback! Like, and what a relevant callback! I thought that was cool.
It was the HAD system, I think they called it both times.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it several times.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I love the Doctor in this one. It was like, I'm so glad I remembered to activate that. It was a good thing. It was like, yeah, because that could have been really ugly, Doctor. But but the TARDIS is supposed to be invincible anyway against tons of stuff. So it would have been interesting to see. But yeah, it was neat to have that. That was so. I don't remember seeing that before this. So I wonder if this was the first time that they actually did that in the stories. So, but yeah,
it's a good question. I don't. Yeah, since we don't watch these in order, which I'm glad we don't. I get confused as to what and there's still some episodes that we that have aired before this that I haven't seen yet. So it's always hard for me to know what comes first when we watch these, unless I read it somewhere. But
yeah. No, and it's interesting because we're starting to wind down with the number of Second Doctor stories that are available that we haven't reviewed. and everything. And it will be sad when we get to the point where, because I think we still have like Space Pirates. I think we have a couple others also that we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
So
especially we're very limited, if not completely limited. I'll have to double check here. But on episodes featuring this great trio.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In fact, I can tell you that, we've only got one more story left with these three. And that's, you're right, Mike. It's the Space Pirates.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because we were supposed to originally get an animated version of Wheel in Space. But I think that was canceled somewhere down the line. But I'm hoping now with the new deal, that, we'll get that finally brought out in public and everything. Because I would love to see the introduction of Zoe. I think that would be awesome to do. And also, truthfully, as long as they don't do it in the animation style of the Celestial Toy Maker.
Oh, God.
I think we'll be in good shape.
We don't need any more of those.
No.
Yeah.
All right, kids. Any final thoughts? Because I think we're almost at the end of the line with this one.
Well, just on that note too, and I don't want to get into a big, because I'm as an artist and everything like that, and really a proponent of artist rights, I'm very concerned with AI and the use of it. But I do think that in the proper hands, AI could be used in a great way to help restore some of these missing episodes.
Oh yeah, well,
and I hope that is done at some point.
Well, especially if it's done right, and also in all truth, and I agree with you completely, Mike. But it would have to. They already have the audio soundtracks to it.
Right.
The audio's already available for a lot of these missing storylines. So it would be great, if they wanted to do the AI towards the artwork and everything. Yeah. Yeah,
and they already have imagery, imagery from a lot of these stories as well. Still shots from a lot of these. So, they have material to work with. Again, I don't think we're quite there yet, and there's still a lot of other issues with AI. But I do think that it, ultimately could be used for good. And in this case, for, filling in some of these holes that we have.
Sure.
Yeah, especially if you're recreating something that does not exist anymore.
Right.
Then I feel like that's using AI in a good way. Because it doesn't exist. We're not taking anything away from it.
We're proposing using AI for good. That's right.
I mean, like anything, you can use something ethically. So
exactly,
make sure this was already made. So we already have the actors' voices, all that kind of stuff. You may or may not need to get the estate buy-ins of using their visual because it was filmed. I don't know, but still, maybe just go the ethic route and go make sure all your, T's are crossed, your I's are dotted, and then use AI as a tool to help make you the best thing with artists and all the other kind of talented people out there.
Especially with this era of Doctor Who, let's do it while we still have Frasier and Wendy still around so we can, get them for the bonus material.
Yeah.
They're not spring chickens anymore, folks.
No.
I think Frasier just had his 80th birthday, I think, recently. So they're not, they're not, going to the singles bars and, well, they might be, but that's a whole different story.
I mean, we're losing, so many actors from this era now.
Yes.
I mean, we just lost Maggie Smith and.
Oh, this week's been terrible.
This week's been.
This week is like every day. It's like one after another after another.
I almost, because I'm the one posting it on Earth Station on the ESO Network Facebook page, and I feel like I'm the Undertaker every time I'm posting. I almost want to have the soundtrack.
Well, today was John Amos that I found out.
Yeah.
But he actually died back in August. They just announced
the family
it.
just
just announced it. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, so
they just wanted privacy for a little while,
and I fully respect that. I think that's totally respectable and everything about that. All right, let's go ahead and rate this one. 1 out of 5 TARDISes, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Mr. Mike, you haven't been with us for a while, so you got to go first tonight.
I like this era a lot, and there's a lot to like about this episode, this story. But I do agree that there's problems with it. It's not one that I'm probably going to pop in immediately over and over and watch over and over again. So I will give it a 3.5.
Okay.
Because I think it's way above average. That's a point above average, as well as it needs some work. But yeah, I would say 3.5.
Okay, Mel.
I actually have to go right with Mike at 3.5 because I don't want to give it 3 because it's not average. It was really good, but I just needed to be tightened up a little bit. And the flaws that it did have, I don't think they were that glaring. Like, okay, tightening it up, okay, that's one thing. But some of the acting was really on point. The writing was on point. I liked how it was shot. Even we were talking about the effects, really good for their time, and they were really, thought out, and they weren't just playing a slapdash kind, because they used what they could do and then had fun with editing, and it was nice. So yeah, 3.5, maybe even kind of getting towards that 4, but not right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't quite get it that high, but yeah.
Nope, agreed. Mary.
I think just to be contrary, I'll say 3.75.
There it is.
And the extra 0.25 is really just because of the interaction between the TARDIS team of this time, because they are just so amazing to watch. It's just a joy to watch them. Patrick Troughton is one of my favorite doctors, and this really shows you why he is on top form. The companions are on top form. The acting in all of this is pretty good. The Krotons are boring, but it doesn't matter. The first 2 episodes are still super enjoyable. The last one's pretty good. The middle one is terrible. But I think I would still probably recommend it to people, especially if you're any sort of completist or you just like Patrick Troughton, because it's worth watching. Just to watch the TARDIS team.
Nope, I agree completely. I'm going to go the opposite direction with this one. I am actually going to go for a 3. And that's a lot. That's the reason it's not lower is because I love the team on this one. I love the 3 of them. And I love how throughout the story, it's not just the Doctor and Zoe together. It's just not Jamie and Zoe together. It's just not the Doctor and Jamie. It's, they all change off. And I loved that about the dynamic of it. And it shows how strong the characters are. I just couldn't stand the villagers. I thought they were dull as hell. And I thought...
The Gone didn't do it for you.
the Gone were gone. So, and no, literally, it was also, and the Krotons, they were weak. They really were weak villains in this. And, all they were trying to do is get off the planet. And there just was nobody smart enough on the planet to help them out for that. So they were there for over 1,000 years. And, and then the effects of the acid, making them turn to dust. It wasn't all that great. As far as, Second Doctor stories and era stuff, not the best, folks, but I enjoyed it. It moved until the 3rd episode, and then, picked up a little bit in the 4th, but there was still the beginning of the 4th even was a little weak, and, I love that, they were spilling the vats of acid as they were carrying it because it was splashing out. And it wasn't, it was just like, it burnt my leg, or something like that. And Jamie's there bare-legged wearing a kilt anyway, carrying it. It's like, and so it was just, it was interesting. And you know what, though, if you're, like everyone said, if you're a completist, if you're liking the era, and if you want to see really bad teeth, this episode is perfect for it. I didn't even realize that Patrick Troughton had missing teeth on the bottom. I realized that when I was watching this, it was just like, oh, Patrick, you need to go to the dentist, dude. So, but, it is England in the 60s. Sorry, folks. All right. I had to do it. we definitely would love to hear from you guys at home. And if there's a dentist, listening, I'm sorry. Please.
And this is shot in Britain.
Exactly.
I know. Now I'm going to get mail.
Well, of course.
Direct your mail to
Mr. Mike Gordon.
This will be my return in my last episode. Bye.
No, Judy and I are watching old episodes of the IT Crowd, and it hadn't gotten much better by that era either. So, it's interesting.
I'm not the first one to make that joke.
No, Austin Powers took care of that
Yes.
many times, over and over. But yes, folks, we definitely thank you for listening, and thank you if you've made it this far into the episode. Please give us a like and subscribe. And if you're listening to us, 5 stars. It's always the best way to do it. We are coming to you every other week right now, and we're quickly moving. Can't believe it's October already, folks. It's, the holiday special is right around the corner as we speak. So, and the rumor going around is we're going to get the next season of Doctor Who probably April. So, that's going to be right around the corner. We're going to blink and it's going to be here. So stick with us. We have a lot of great stuff coming until then. And of course, let's find out what everyone on the show is up to. Of course, Ms. Mary Ogle, want to promote your stuff?
You can find me at maryogle.com or on Etsy at eVision Arts.
And this lady is super busy, folks. So if you want to, hire her to do some work for you, do it now. Because, she could use the work, type thing. Because, she doesn't need to sleep.
Sleep's for the weak.
And Ms. Melanie Dean, thank you as always.
Thank you. I love it here, and can't wait to keep doing more.
Oh, you're stuck. The chain is coming in.
Yeah, we're not letting you go now.
No.
Believe me, I've tried. I can't. They reel me back. Just when I thought I was out, they reel me back in.
You can check out anytime you like. You just can never leave.
Exactly. Yeah, Mike Gordon wrote an email and said, "Howdy, I like what you're doing," and he never left.
Still here. That was 14 years ago.
It's the truth. So, Melanie, where can people see your artwork?
On Instagram is mostly where I live, and that's Pieces of Melee. Right now I'm doing a lot of stained glass stuff because that's my full-time job. Product development for that. So
yay. Yay. And Mr. Mike Gordon, it is so good to have you back, my friend.
It's good to be back. I missed you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we're sad to announce it's his last episode because of the dentist crack. So
yeah, because I've been canceled.
Yes, exactly. How can people find that new Dragon Con book that you guys have released?
Thank you. Look, I haven't got a chance to say it yet, but I being at Dragon Con and all the other conventions that I did in August, Monstrum and whatnot, I saw a lot of people who are into Earth Station Who, and some people who I hope are listening because I introduced them to Earth Station Who. So welcome, and thank you. Thank you for everybody who came we did a panel on the Brit Tracks where we did some Moffat bashing, actually, which was I didn't quite expect that. Although there was plenty of Chibnall bashing as well. But we talked about the specials that were released last year, and had a lot of fun doing that. And Dragon Con is always one of my favorite times of the year. It's one of my favorite events to go to. This is my, I think, 31st in a row. And it was even more special this year because I got this new book that came out called Dragon Tales, which is all about celebrating Dragon Con, and it's in honor of 2 very, very special people. It's a benefit book going to 2 charities for those special people. Features a gorgeous cover by Mary Ogle. Look at that, Mary, there's your book. I promise one is heading your way.
Already bought one.
And we sold out of actually hard copies when I was at the show. It's been doing pretty well on Amazon, so you can get it there. So we'll have a link hopefully in the show notes. If not, just pull up Dragon Tales in Amazon and you should find it, or just reach out to me. I've got some more hard copies coming my way as well, and it's been a wonderful project to be part of, and I couldn't be happier with the results. So I appreciate it.
Yay. Awesome. And folks, it's a great, great book. And, and it's like Mike said, it's going out to two great folks who, we had a very, close relationships with. So definitely check it out. And it's available up on Amazon. And, it's where I got my copy. So it's very cool. So even the director of the network had to go out and buy his own copy. So, so it's a good thing, and I didn't have to go to San Diego to get it. So it's perfect. So there you go.
Wow.
There we go.
Place your orders now. And then I can see what I'll do for next year.
There we go.
Well, now you have to go to San Diego next year.
Yeah, we're putting pressure on you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Isn't that in her co-host contract?
Exactly.
I usually go every year, and I'm definitely in the art show every year. But I'm going to Star Wars Celebration next year.
In Japan?
Yeah,
You're doing You're going to Japan? Oh, that's awesome.
So I have to do that and not do San Diego. But usually I go to San Diego, so we'll see. Well,
I got my exclusive cover, so I'm
there
good.
You go.
So.
Yeah.
Well, then we just have to figure out what you can get for us in Japan.
Exactly.
So it could still work out.
Yeah. And I have contacts in San Diego, so believe me, if there's something we need to find, we can work it.
There's a reason you're on the show now, so it's good. So there you go.
I'm the finder. It's like, go give me
Exactly.
this.
Exactly. Well, folks, thank you as always. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, and actually, it's actually not 2 weeks. We will see you guys in a week because we actually got delayed because of the hurricane. And so, folks, we will be back in 1 week, and we will have a great show for you. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you all next time here, Earth Station Who. Peace, and we are done. Bye.
Woohoo!
You have been listening to Earth Station Who, a pop culture podcast dedicated to all things Doctor Who, featuring talents from throughout space and time. All topics on the show are the sole opinions of the individuals and are to be used for entertainment value alone. You can subscribe to our show wherever fine podcasts are found, or check out our website, earthstationwho.com. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and if you enjoyed the show, please write to us at feedback@earthstationwho.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you on the next journey of Earth Station Who.
Come listen to the 42 Cast. It's your ultimate answer to fandom, geekiness, and everything, and you can only find it on the ESO Network.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.